My 23 female boyfriends, 26 male, ex-girlfriend, 26 female, is creating TikTok videos about me. What can I do? My boyfriend and his ex-girlfriend broke up about a year and a half ago. She has a substantial following on TikTok and frequently posts about her journey of moving on from him and her new relationship. A few months ago, she began browsing my TikTok profile and inquiring about me through mutual followers. She requested to follow me on TikTok, and I accepted her request, subsequently following her back. About a month ago, she posted a TikTok video claiming to have broken her leg and required surgery. I work in the healthcare field at our local hospital. For some reason, she believes that I provided medical care to her while she was undergoing treatment for her leg. In one of her videos, she mentions that the surgery was performed at an outpatient surgical center that I am not affiliated with. Last week, she posted 2 more TikTok videos alleging that I violated HIPAA by sharing her medical information. She claims that I took advantage of her while she was under anesthesia. She also mentioned that she reported this incident to the management of the surgical center, and they are currently investigating the matter. I am concerned about the potential consequences for my medical license. I was not involved in her care and am not employed by the surgical center. I reported the videos on TikTok, but they stated that they did not violate any community guidelines. Our mutual friends are aware of the situation and the fact that she is making the videos about me. She had previously blocked me before posting these videos. I know that I did nothing wrong, but the fact that multiple people know she's talking about me is worrisome. She has a long history of mental illness, including schizoaffective disorder, bipolar disorder, anxiety, and depression. Despite this, she still reaches out to my boyfriend because they had pets together, and she can't afford their vet bills. Inform your employer and the surgical center she attended. This reflects badly on them as well, and they will get legal involved immediately. Keep a paper trail just in case. You need to protect yourself legally and professionally. Talk with HR, meet with a legal rep. This woman could ruin your entire future. Speak with your employer and get legal representation. A cease and desist letter may be necessary to make her stop. She mentions that the surgery was performed at an outpatient surgical center that I am not affiliated with. I agree with others that if you don't want to spend money, time on this, just inform the surgical center she is also slandering. They have got lawyers that are gonna act quickly on this since this kind of talk will affect their public reputation. Also, that is such a shitty situation. What is your boyfriend doing about this? Is he just thinking, this is your problem? He needs to help you out too. It is his ex putting you in this situation. Is defamation a thing in your country? Could be a viable legal avenue and totally justified. Save all her TikToks in case you need it for evidence. My wife, 30F, is threatening to divorce me, 29M, if I leave the military. My wife and I disagree on my leaving the military, and it's become a huge source of stress in our relationship, to the point where she has threatened to leave me if I get out. We're high school sweethearts and have been together for 13 years, married for nearly 11. She is truly my soulmate, and I've cherished watching us grow up together. We have 3 kids, 7, 2, and 1. I joined the military right out of high school, and we got married as soon as I finished training. Since then, I've deployed 3 times to Afghanistan as a 19D Cavalry Scout, and in 2020 I commissioned and became a helicopter pilot. During this time, my wife has absolutely crushed it in school and is now working full-time as a pediatric nurse. I have the opportunity to leave the military in 2026, and I badly want to do it, for several reasons, but mainly because I miss my children so much. In the last 3 years, I've only spent 16 months at home between a deployment I'm currently on and various TDY assignments. I'm miserable, and I'm worn out. My wife is completely opposed to the idea. She hates it and constantly belittles me when I bring it up, saying things like, "You're a man. It's your job to provide stability," and, "You'd be a bad dad to subject our children to the uncertainty of you getting out." Every time we try to talk about it, it turns into a blow-up. Right now, we bring in about $200,000 after taxes. I've completed my bachelor's degree and have already been accepted to a very good university, top 10 in the country, to pursue my master's in business. The long-term earning potential is off the charts. New graduates of the program are averaging $200,000 starting salaries, with 95% landing a job within 3 months of graduating. Our income would definitely drop while I'm in school. Probably down to around $150,000 between my wife's salary, my GI Bill, and VA disability. But after 2 years, we'd be doing far better than we are now. This seems like a viable option that would finally allow me to be the dad and husband I want to be. But my wife is dead set against it, to the point where she's threatened to leave me. I'm just looking for an outside perspective here. Have I lost it? Edit. My kids are definitely mine. All three of them look exactly like me, tears of joy. Unless she is flying my brother in while I am not around, haha. Bro, I say this delicately and with respect, but it might be worth quietly looking into whether there's a less reputable reason she wants you away from the house for long stretches at a time. She'll leave you to become a single mom because you're not bringing stability to your couple? I'm really confused how divorce is going to bring stability in your couple. You've been 12 years in the military, you're getting burned out of it, you've earned the right to do something else. I'm with you on that one. Why are you not worried that your wife doesn't care about your needs as a father and a human? Should be you looking at her red flag instead of feeling guilty. Pursue what you want. It's your life. Have you considered why your wife doesn't want you around more? She is attacking your manhood by claiming you're a bad dad? And why she would leave you if you're trying to improve the family's overall income? The only logical answer is she has a boyfriend that she knows will be exposed if you're home more. Something does not add up. Most people would be in ecstasy that their partner is leaving a dangerous, draining job to finally be able to stay with the family they miss so dearly and pursue a career with high earning potential. She does not want you back, better to find out why. If she is using being in the military as a deal breaker, then it says a lot about her. If your partner belittles you and such, then it's not a healthy marriage. Mike, 29 female. Reluctance to get a total hysterectomy makes my husband, 31 male, question my child-free state. I want to start saying I have always been firmly child-free. I have never wanted children. I also have endometriosis. I was diagnosed at 16 with laparoscopic surgery, but it wasn't able to be removed because it was too close to arteries. So I have been treating it with birth control since then. That's been no issue because I didn't want kids, so I was okay with never stopping it. My husband is also strongly child-free and has overall been supportive of my endometriosis journey. But I've been on so many forms of birth control. Multiple types of pills, the patch, the depot shot, Nexplanon, and latest is the IUD. With the pills, they tend to not help my symptoms. And the few that did, stopped helping after some time. Each method that followed did the same thing. I'd be mostly pain and symptom-free, but after a year or two, the symptoms would return. My latest method was a hormonal IUD which helped for about 2 years, but lately I am cramping every day. It's starting to impact my life. I moved recently and had to find a new gynecologist. I know how gynos are with endometriosis, so I sent them all the medical records I had relating to it. I had a yearly exam and made sure to bring up how it's been affecting me lately and all previous methods I tried to treat it and how it couldn't be removed through surgery. The new gynecologist brought up a total hysterectomy with the ovaries. This would remove my cervix, uterus, and ovaries. I did not expect to be offered that, and I told my husband when I got home that I am not sure if I want to do that, and he got very upset. He thinks because I don't instantly want to do the surgery, I secretly want kids and am going to trap him with a baby. That's not the case. I have been very firm on my birth control, and if there was even a slip where I missed a pill or got the shot late, I would insist on a condom. I do not want kids. Being pregnant is one of my worst nightmares. I am not sure about the hysterectomy because I am not sure I am mentally able to handle that big of a surgery. It's a keyhole surgery, so it won't be too much of an incision, but the recovery can be rough. I don't think I have it in me to deal with it right now. I also am so reluctant to have my ovaries removed because I don't want to rely on HRT to get my necessary hormones for the rest of my life. And I need the ovaries removed because I have endometriosis beyond my uterus. It's growing on my bowels, I have scarring from it. That can't be removed, and also a normal hormone cycle might cause flare-ups in those parts, from what I understand. But he thinks because I didn't immediately say yes, it means I want kids. I've tried explaining to him why I am reluctant, but he just won't listen. I've tried telling him it's not like a vasectomy. The recovery is longer and harder and the effects are more. And other people I've talked to about this tend to agree with him, just less intensely. They don't think I am going to baby trap him, but think it's a sign I'm not solid on my child-free stance. How can I effectively explain that me being unsure of the hysterectomy is not because I secretly want children? Menopause isn't a fun trip to go on, especially when you're just hitting your 30s. That alone is a valid reason to hesitate. He could easily resolve his worries with a vasectomy. With that logic, your husband isn't child-free since he hasn't had his balls cut off. A hysterectomy is a major, invasive surgery. Even if you're one of the few who recover extremely quickly and relatively pain-free, they're still removing your organs. Not to mention the hormonal aspect of a hysterectomy. You're allowed to be hesitant about that. When he got a vasectomy, how did his healing process go? Because he got one, right? So that he can ensure no children? Tell him if he's so worried about it he can cut his balls and dick off. If he doesn't immediately agree, tell him he must want kids. Your husband is a complete asshole. Mike, 25F, girlfriend just cheated on me, 26M, on our anniversary. We had been dating for 2 years and our relationship was perfect. Conversation was easy and life just seemed easy whenever I was with her. We met at university and I was the nerd and she was the cheerleader. I felt like the luckiest guy in the world. As we were approaching our anniversary, we both had exams and lots of studying to do, so we didn't see each other as much. One night I asked if she wanted to do a group study session at the library and we both agreed. However, when I arrived she wasn't there. I messaged her and she said she was running late. About 30 minutes later she walks in with a bunch of friends from her course and she came over to me and we studied. The night before our anniversary she had a very important exam, so I didn't see her during the day at all as she wanted to focus on studying and do some last-minute prep. Her exam was late in the afternoon, so I patiently waited to hear from her to see how it went, knowing she'd smash it. She eventually called and said that it went terribly and that she was going to go to the bar with some of her friends from her course to blow off some steam. I gave her some space and told her to message me if she needed a lift or wanted to crash at my place. In the early hours of the following morning, our anniversary day, I had still not heard anything from her and stated to panic that she had blacked out somewhere or something potentially worse had happened. I drove over to the pub and the barman said that he saw her get in a taxi with a friend, male, and left. An hour or so passed and she messaged me saying she was crashing at a friend's place, she was okay and that she'd come over to my place for breakfast. When she arrived at mine in the morning she was crying, upset and tearful. I asked if everything was okay and she said, "No, there's something I must tell you," and essentially told me that she had slept over at her friend's place and slept with her friend from her course. I didn't know what to say. I just stared at her, tears filling my eyes and anger filling my heart. How could she do this to me? On our anniversary? Out of nowhere? She claimed she did it due to a mixture of being drunk and struggling on her exam. I didn't know what to do or say, so I politely asked her to leave and that I'll call her later and to give me some space whilst I work this out. What would you do? This is the only relationship I've ever had and I have terrible self-esteem. I felt unloved romantically my whole life until I met her. She changed everything, but the only person who has ever loved me like this, cheated on me and I don't know why. I know people might say, it's easy, she cheated, break up with her, but there might not be anyone else out there for me. She was my first true love and I feel like there will not be anyone else for me besides her. She's perfect, the paragon of beauty, but she cheated. I'm not trying to get the sympathy vote here or anything like that, just a glimpse into my mental. Is there a way we can work through this? Would love to know your thoughts. All I can say here is that I've never flunked a school test so bad I cheated on my girlfriend. Relationships only work when people view themselves as equals. If you feel so lucky to have her that you expect no basic human decency out of her, then you're not nurturing a relationship, you're building a monster. Someone worried their partner might actually dump them wouldn't have done this. Someone so confident in having the upper hand over the person they're dating would do this, and expect no repercussions. It's not like it's going to get any better if you just pretend like this cheating never happened. Being with a cheater is going to be worse than looking for someone new. I don't really buy the excuse. I was so bummed from my exam I needed to sleep with someone, but apparently not my perfectly good boyfriend waiting at home? IDK, a good partner just doesn't do that. I understand your concern about finding someone else, but it would be hard for me to move past this. I tell you what, I have been staggeringly drunk many times in my 20s and 30s and never cheated. She made a decision to go home with another guy, even telling you that, and she made the decision to fuck him, too. I mean, I guess she gets a little respect for coming over and being honest. But, still, if she was in the mood where cheating just took a few drinks, your relationship isn't as good as you thought it was. Walk away. Theirs is no excuse. She will do it again.